going to say. We'll do that.
Welcome back after our brief break. After the prior bout, now we've got the Kitsap Derby Brats up against the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. Let's roll down those rosters. For Kitsap, number 5, Lil Mean Sunshine. Number 13, Holly Palooza. 17, Red Rager. 25, Quarter Pounder. 26, Raven. Number 33, Aqua Knock You Out. 71, Stabby Gabby. 78, Destruction. 84, Chaos. 106, Allison Wonderslam. 115, Champ Pain. 247, Tallywhacker. 626, Chrissy Carnage, and 888, Gaines Slayer. Those are the Kitsap Derby Brats in the yellow jerseys. And against them in red are the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. Number 00, Sassy Gonna Getcha. Number 2, Acute MI. Number 7, Teratoma. 12, Skates with Scissors. 16, Cream Bomb. Number 17, Bubble Vicious. 25, Killer Whale. Number 33, Blockugan. Number 47, Stella Corpse. 51 is Carnage. 080, Bananica Split. 88, Goody Two Skates. And 91, ER, the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. I am Scott Chicken, and with me is Bulldog. But he's not going to talk now, because his mic is muted.
How y'all doing?
Hey, everybody.
That's not it. I was like, and you check that file. I checked that file. It's all rosters. I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully late enough in the day that he said. I'll just it's late enough in the day.
And as the referee's getting ready to go, looks like we will have Aqua Knock You Out jamming for Kitsap against Bubble Vicious for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks.
Oh, let's look at the card. I got the card for the hot dog guy, so that's good. Hot dog guy, Jeremy. I know about 70 people.
We are all lined up for the Kitsap Derby Brats against the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. Kitsap Derby Brats in the yellow, or if you have a more refined taste, it's marigold jerseys. Against the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks in the red jerseys.
Are they red or are they crimson?
Crimson, yes. I was I was going to say scarlet, but I think crimson is more accurate, according to the color wheel.
I left my Pantone colors at home. I don't know.
I'm just going to say yellow, though, because it's
I think
fewer
yellow and red
syllables.
is probably good enough.
There's the first whistle. Aqua Knock You Out. Looking for the inside of the lane. Gets around Cream Bomb with ease. And just like that, within 2 seconds of the first whistle, Kitsap Derby Brats takes away the first lead jammer. Bubble Vicious running into Red Rager. Red Rager, lets her slide around that hip check, only to run into a 2-wall in front. Aqua Knock You Out. The Kitsap Derby Brat jammer gets around Cream Bomb again, but Cream Bomb gave her some trouble, but a grand slam right off the bat for Kitsap. Bubble Vicious finally forces her way past Champ Pain of the Kitsap Derby Brats. And the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks jammer is out, but Aqua Knock You Out completing a second scoring pass for 4 more points, bringing their total to 9 in the first jam.
Aqua Knock You Out with some great line awareness, aiming right at the gap in between the blockers and managing to squeeze through without knocking anyone down. No back block. Picks up the 4, or 5 rather, on that pass. Giving her 9 points. 9-0 lead for Kitsap. They will send Chaos to the line up against Skates with Scissors from Rocky Mountain.
Chaos looking for that same inside line that Aquanacua took, but this time runs into the 3-wall, now a 4-wall. Stella Corpse on the inside, Acute MI in what I like to call the Ginger position for Ginger Rogers. But Chaos dodging around Acute MI and Sassy Gonna Getcha. Claims lead jammer for the second time in a row for Kitsap as Skates with Scissors, the Rocky Mountain Jammer, goes to the penalty box. We have our first power jam. Chaos brushes off a shoulder check from ER, dodges to the inside of Sassy Gonna Getcha, completes her first scoring pass for 5.
All right. And as she loops back around a wide open door, as number 71, Stabby Gabby, I believe that was opening up the door there. In any case, rolls through for another 5.
Just looking at the blocker. Oh, no, it's the one.
And she gets caught up in a little, not really a wall, more of a scrum practically at the front.
ER, Sassy Gonna Getcha, and Stella Corpse holding back Chaos, looking frustrated. Chaos got nowhere. A staunch defense from Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. And holding Chaos to only 3 points on her third scoring pass. 13 points total, but Skates with Scissors of the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks still in the penalty box.
Sassy Gonna Get You playing that turn around and face you and stand on my toe stops and not let you move me out of the way at all move, which worked very well because she had a couple of people backing her up. Holly Palooza now starting off on this power start as Skates with Scissors, as Bulldog mentioned, continuing to sit in the penalty box.
Still only one penalty called thus far in the game. That is against Rocky Mountain Roller Punks jammer Skates with Scissors. Holly Palooza getting lead jammer for the third jam in a row. So far, a clean sweep of lead jammer for Kitsap. Skates with Scissors of Rocky Mountain tries to leap across the inbox, fresh out of the penalty box, but number 78, Destruction, caught her in the air, knocked her down. She had to recycle. Holly Palooza comes through a second time, grand slam. And now 2 penalties, 1 blocker from each team dropping into the penalty box, so 3-on-3 in the pack. Holly Palooza calling off the jam before Skates with Scissors can get in for her first scoring pass, so 14-0 in that jam. So far, a shutout of Rocky Mountain.
Skates with Scissors almost had that apex jump down, but just couldn't quite land it on the feet, had to slide back, crawl back out of bounds, recycle back to the back. But a valiant effort, and she did help slow down the bleeding, as it were. 37-0. Kitsap lead. They will send Red Rager to the line up against Bananica Split for Rocky Mountain.
Still a 3-on-3 pack. Aquanaku out of Kitsap and Cream Bomb of Rocky Mountain in the penalty box. They arrived there almost simultaneously, so they should be leaving almost simultaneously. Bananica Split jamming for Rocky Mountain gets out, but is almost at least a half a lap behind, but gets into the pack on a scoring pass. Gains Slayer, Chrissy Carnage, and Quarter Pounder. Holder to the outside. Red Rager laps the opposing jammer and gets a grand slam, bringing her total to 9. Waiting for the scoreboard to update. Let's see. Okay, it looks like only 3 points in that first scoring pass, 5 points on the second scoring pass for Red Rager, and now comes around a third time, 4 more points. Looks like a total of 12 points. But Rocky Mountain now on the board. Bananica Split picking up 4 in her one and only scoring pass.
And let's take a second to thank our online broadcast, not affecting those here watching, but those watching at home. I know my family watching occasionally. Online broadcast of the bouts provided by Blaze Streaming Media. They're hiding behind these curtains, doing wonderful things with the internets to let people around the world watch roller derby.
A fresh jammer for Rocky Mountain. Sassy Gonna Getcha picks up lead jammer for the first time for the ladies in red. Champagne also jamming for the first time for Kitsap. Gets out of the pack right behind, but a leap across the infield takes Sassy Gonna Getcha past Gainslayer and gets all 4 points, but Champagne does pick up 1 point off the back of the pack.
And that takes it to 50-8. Kitsap rounding out that half-century mark. First lead jam for Rocky Mountain, and we've seen in previous bouts that really does have a huge effect. Lets you control the clock, lets you grab the points, and slowly whittle away at the lead. They will send Bubble Vicious back to the line against Holly Palooza.
5-on-5 right now. The penalty box is empty. Bubble Vicious, her first time jamming in this game. Holly Palooza on her second jam. This time finds the outside lane and gets lead jammer. Bubble Vicious looking for that same outside lane, gets caught by Chrissy Carnage. Chrissy Carnage unable to contain Bubble Vicious, though. Bubble Vicious fighting her way free, but Holly Palooza almost caught up to the Rocky Mountain jammer. A hip check from Bubble Vicious knocks down Holly Palooza, driving her out of bounds. She has to recycle, and that allows Bubble Vicious to get through, narrowly escaping a hip check from Tallywhacker, completing the pass for 4, but Holly Palooza is going to match those 4 points, calling off the jam. So a 4-4 tie in this jam. Jam number 6.
That was a lovely hip, taking Holly Palooza to the infield. She slid right through, took out a couple of her own skaters, which is not a penalty. You're allowed to knock them down all you want. It's only when you knock out the other team that it matters.
Okay. No, that was an 8-point jam for Kitsap. I missed the whole scoring pass.
Apparently Bulldog falling asleep at the wheel, missing a scoring pass. 8-4 that jam, 58-12 overall. Acute MI will jam for Rocky Mountain against Aqua Knock You Out for Kitsap.
I was focused on Bubble Vicious.
There you go.
That was a lot of action there. Aqua Knock You Out breaks free for lead jammer for Kitsap. Acute MI dodges to the inside of, this is Gainslayer, runs into Zabby Gabby. Those skaters all look the same. Acute MI stuck behind Stabby Gabby and Destruction, but all 3 skaters fall down. But Acute MI able to just pour on the speed and gets out of the pack. But Aqua Knock You Out on a scoring pass. First scoring pass, a shoulder to Sassy, gonna get you, and she dodges around, calls off the jam for 4 points. Acute MI not gonna get around in time, so nothing for Rocky Mountain.
Acute MI not able to pick up any points, but she did have a big effect on the Kitsap pack, as a couple of those, while they were rolling around the corner, 2 different blockers sent to the box. So Kitsap will start off with a 2-blocker disadvantage. They will send Chaos to the line up against Rocky Mountain's Bananica Split. Full pack for Rocky Mountain. 2 in the box for Kitsap.
Official timeout called.
And that's as good a time as any to talk about sound and stage equipment. The people that are letting you in the auditorium anyway hear our voices. The fine folk at Gordon Sound. You rock and they roll, at least according to their ad in the program. If you'd like more information, check them out at gordonsound.com or give them a call, 360-692-2957. And they can hook you up with a fine amplifier and some microphones and a speaker, and everyone can hear what you have to say.
So hopefully we'll get a report of what this official timeout is about. But right now we have a 3-on-2 pack. 1 blocker from Rocky Mountain in the penalty box. 2 blockers from Kitsap in the penalty box. So Rocky Mountain with a 1-blocker advantage.
You want to state that for the record? No, we did that.
And our official timeout involved a swap of jam refs. The previous jam ref not feeling well, so Hunter and Tossum is stepping in.
An emergency personnel change.
Good that we have spare referees just sitting waiting to jump out on the track. And once more, we will get going with the Kitsap Derby Brat D-Bombers in yellow. Chaos jamming for them against the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks in red Bananica Split.
And it looks like Rocky Mountain almost started with an extra skater on the track, but ER was removed just in time, just before that. But Bananica Split going to the penalty box and looked like she was clutching one of her fingers. Hopefully there's no injury there, but that won't prevent her from skating. Chaos of the Kitsap Derby Brats now on a power jam. Gets past the 3 defenders, Teratoma, Carnage, and skates with scissors. Clinches lead jammer. Now Red Rager breaking up the 3 wall, skates with scissors all by herself. Red Rager was able to screen off ER and Teratoma and Carnage. Now comes through a second time. 5 more points, 10 points so far on this power jam.
Kitsap playing the passive-aggressive offense, as we like to say. Lining up, slowing it down, and then knocking people out of the way aggressively to open up the door so that their jammer doesn't have to just stand and push forward. And it's working well. Another 5 on that lap. And Chaos picks up 5 more. 20 points so far.
Kitsap able to spring all of their blockers, so they'll start the next jam at full strength. And a 20-point jam for Kitsap. Kitsap in the yellow, Rocky Mountain in the red.
And that will take Kitsap to 82 overall. Bananica Split still in the box. So Kitsap will start off on the power start with number 13, Holly Palooza, jamming for the ladies in yellow. But
Bananica Split, the jammer for Rocky Mountain, was standing in the penalty box at the start of the jam, so she is released quickly now on her initial pass. But Holly Palooza already clinching lead jammer. Both teams now at full strength. Bananica Split surrounded by yellow. And a quick move past Bubble Vicious takes the Kitsap Derby Brats jammer Holly Palooza through for a grand slam. Bananica Split knocks down Tallywhacker, and it's Chrissy Carnage unable to stop her. She has completed her initial pass, but there goes Holly Palooza on a second scoring pass. Once again, Bubble Vicious trying to reel her in for Rocky Mountain, but the Kitsap jammer picks up another grand slam, calls off the jam, but it looks like we may have gotten 1 point for Rocky Mountain. Yes, there it is. Bananica Split just clipping one off the back of the pack before the jam was called.
And that takes the lead to 89, now 92-13. Kitsap doing a great job as they screened up Bananica Split and moved away from that inside line, opening it up for their jammer to sweep through on the inside, grabbing that lap point as well as the 4. Champagne now jamming for Kitsap against Cream Bomb for Rocky Mountain.
And both teams still at full strength. Cream Bomb getting screened off by Red Rager, but Red Rager stumbles and Cream Bomb able to run into a 3-wall of Kitsap. Red Rager reestablishing position. She's flanked by Destruction and Aqua Knock You Out. Now it's a 2-wall. Destruction and Red Rager holding back the Red Jammer. A multiplayer block called on number 78, Destruction of Kitsap.
She started to slip, grabbed the shirt, and that's not legal.
Champagne dodging, weaving her way through the pack, and picks up 4. Cream Bomb gets through as well, matching those 4 points. So far 4-4. Champagne coming through a second time, slams into Sassy Gonna Get You and gets knocked down. Sassy Gonna Get You trying to repeat with a hip check, but Champagne able to slide on by. Cream Bomb on a second scoring pass, trying to match those 4 points. A quick move slips right between Red Rager and Gainslayer to get through. Gets those 4 points, but Champagne right behind her gets 4 more. Already on her third scoring pass. Cream Bomb now on number 3. Champagne on number 4, potentially lapping the opposing jammer, but doesn't quite make it there. That was a big hit. I believe that was a acute MI that made the hit. There was a referee in the way at the time.
She said no. she waved that off. She's not taking credit for someone else's hit. It was a lovely shot.
It was either
though.
Skates with Scissors or Sassy Gonna Get You then.
In any case, Red Rager picking up a penalty at the end, but nowhere for her to sit, so she will be a must skate this jam as Chaos goes to the line for the D-Bombers against Bubble Vicious for the Roller Punks.
That's what. Maybe that was it. That's all right.
Chaos gets lead jammer very quickly, but Bubble Vicious this time having very little trouble getting through the two blockers. Now Red Rager going to the penalty box means there's only one blocker on the track for Kitsap. That's Quarter Pounder, and Bubble Vicious having no trouble getting through on her first scoring pass. Chaos, the Kitsap Derby Brats jammer going to the penalty box. That means Rocky Mountain has their first power jam. And three blockers in front. That's Destruction, Quarter Pounder, and Aqua Knock You Out. Unable to stop Bubble Vicious. She gets a grand slam on her second scoring pass. First two grand slams for Rocky Mountain, but a big shoulder check from Quarter Pounder clobbers Bubble Vicious, but Quarter Pounder is going to the penalty box for that one. But Aqua Knock You Out is there to back her up. A hip check knocks Bubble Vicious out of bounds. And Destruction just gonna wander back to the bench, it looks like. Oh, they may have. Oh, I'm not sure what she's doing, but she was apparently waved back to her bench. So only three blockers in the jam for Kitsap. So a huge opportunity for Rocky Mountain.
She may have been waved out of the box and thought that was a wave back to the bench. Not sure. She is back on the track now. There was nowhere to sit, but now there is as Red Rager comes out. And that allows one blocker to swap in.
Well, that worked completely to the advantage of Rocky Mountain. They've so far got 5 grand slams. Bubble Vicious coming through a 6th time. Ducks under a shoulder check from Destruction, number 78. And gets a grand slam number 6 for Rocky Mountain.
And Chaos picks up a cut track right on the inside corner. And that will be an extended power jam for Rocky Mountain.
2 power jams in a row, but Chaos did manage to get 2 points. But Bubble Vicious getting 3 points on that last scoring pass. So I believe a 33-point jam for Rocky Mountain. Unless I missed a scoring pass or two.
Could well be. I lost track personally.
Yeah, there was all that craziness with the Kitsap blockers.
Too many ins and outs and swaps and here's and there's.
And speaking of which, Kitsap is going to start with one skater on the track. Chaos the Jammer starting in the penalty box, and Quarter Pounder standing. That means there's 2 seats available, and those are filled by Red Rager and Aqua Knock You Out. So Gainslayer all by her lonesome to try and stop Sassy Gonna Getcha. And Sassy Gonna Getcha making short work of Gainslayer. Lead jammer goes to Rocky Mountain.
Rocky Mountain using that last power jam to put a big dent in the lead. Hoping this one will do as well. Currently 107 to 58. But Sassy Gonna Getcha picking up 5 points right there.
Gainslayer and Quarter Pounder now, but Sassy Gonna Getcha somehow ekes right by Gainslayer, just barely staying in bounds. I think she might have been on 2 wheels to stay in bounds in that one, but comes in a 3rd time. And this time a quick move up the inside takes her past Gainslayer. Aqua Knock You Out bursting out of the penalty box. She had to forge her way past ER and Acute MI to establish position at the front of the pack. Sassy Gonna Getcha dodging, but Aqua Knock You Out relentless, but finally had to give it up at the end of the engagement zone. 5 more points, 20 points so far. But now the penalty box clears out. Chaos back in action as jammer for Kitsap. And a cutting the track for Sassy Gonna Getcha of Rocky Mountain means this is a power jam for Kitsap.
Sassy Gonna Getcha trying to toe that line on the outside. Got the wheel just enough over that it wasn't quite legal. So she will go and sit. And that will let Kitsap extend their lead. As Chaos back in, gets popped out to the outside, recycles far back behind Acute MI and re-engages one more time. Struggles her way through and finally breaks out for 5 points. Got
But still, Rocky Mountain has scored in just the last 2 jams, has scored over 50 points, making up a lot of that fairly large gap in the score that Kitsap had built up. So all that work has been reduced to a mere 30 or so points, or 29, I think. Or maybe it's 39.
Maybe it's 39 or 49. I'm not sure. It's math. I don't do math. At least not well in my head.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, somebody, please, how do you carry the 0?
Hollypalooza will start off the power start for Kitsap. Kitsap with a 1 skater deficit in the pack. 3 on the track for Rocky Mountain, 2 on the track, blockers-wise, for Kitsap. But Hollypalooza busts through those 3 like there's no real problem, and she is lead jammer.
Champagne of Kitsap going to the penalty box. So just nothing but penalties in the last 3 jams in a row for Kitsap, and that shows in the score. However, the jammer is the key, and a big hip check from Hollypalooza into Sassy Gonna Get You, who's just returning from the penalty box. Sassy Gonna Get You recovers quickly, though, and slips up the inside. She completes her initial pass very easily. Hollypalooza getting knocked around like a pinball in the pack by the Rocky Mountain skaters. It's Cream Bomb, Block You Again, and Bubble Vicious. And now Hollypalooza going to the penalty box.
Hollypalooza almost had the fall down out of bounds slide in, but she kept on her skates a little bit too long after that hip check, rolled back in and fell down inbounds, and that was enough to warrant the cut track. And that leads to another power jam for Rocky Mountain, and Sassy Gonna Get You, who rolls through and picks up 5 points.
And these are opportunities Kitsap is giving away with all these penalties. But right now, power jam. She's on her second scoring pass. Sassy Gonna Get You. Takes down Tallywhacker with her. Aqua Knock You Out makes a hip check.
And I think that was a direction of play, I believe.
Okay, yeah, Aqua Knock You Out doing a clockwise block. A blind hip check from Tallywhacker sends Sassy Gonna Get You to the infield. She has to recycle back. Now Tallywhacker back and forth. Positional blocking, combined positional blocking. I think Tallywhacker was using quarter pounder as leverage to help her move more quickly from side to side, but Sassy Gonna Get You manages to dodge around. Third grand slam for Rocky Mountain. But here comes Hollypalooza. She is on her second scoring pass. Is going to be completing her second scoring pass. She had already started her second scoring pass before going to the box, so 4 more points. But 9 points total for Kitsap, 25 total for Rocky Mountain.
And that's a number I can subtract. 20-point lead currently for Kitsap. 126 to 106. Rocky Mountain doing a great job of using those power jams to their advantage and narrowing that lead way, way down. They will send Sassy Gonna Get You to the line up against Hollypalooza for Kitsap.
It's a Banana Split.
Oh, Banana Split. Sorry, I was reading this and not looking at her shirt. But first, we'll have an official timeout. An official timeout is a good time to talk about Fingers Duke. Fingers Duke right over there in the corner next to the bleachers and between the smaller set of bleachers if you're in the house. They do great screen printing work. Go check them out at their booth or go to their website, fingersduke.com, to fulfill all of your screen printing needs.
That whistle ended the official timeout. Clock frozen at 8 minutes, 55 seconds in the first period. And once again, that is Banana Split jamming for Rocky Mountain in the red, and in the yellow, it's Red Rager for Kitsap. Red Rager just blasts through like a wrecking ball through the Rocky Mountain defense and slipping through the same opening. Banana Split hot on the heels of Red Rager. Red Rager hits the back, calling off the jam as she enters the jam and just... okay, no points. She was trying to time it so that fourth whistle would occur after she passed the 4 wall in front, but it was just a fraction of a second off. Did not make any passes, so no score in that jam.
I think everyone at the table was a little confused by the fourth line, but we got the correction in time. 126 to 96. We've apparently had a score adjustment.
Okay, we are double checking the score. As you may have noticed, the scoreboard went from 106 to 96 for Rocky Mountain. And we believe that was simply possibly just a scoreboard error. So they're double checking the Rocky Mountain score. So we apologize, folks. This is an official timeout. This clock frozen at 8 minutes, 9 seconds. Kitsap still at 126, and we'll see in just a minute or two. We'll confirm the Rocky Mountain score.
And now let's talk after party, at least for the adults. Last night's after party, all ages, but since the juniors end early, tonight's after party is just an adult one. After the last bout, it will be at McLeod's. McLeod's at 2901 Perry Avenue, number 13, which kind of makes it sound like an apartment, but I'm guessing it's actually a bar. I could be wrong. I haven't been to McLeod's, so I'm not sure. In any case, after our last bout tonight, if I look at the Magic schedule, is the 9:15 Arc Valley High Rollers versus Calgary. That's not right. That's yesterday. You would think, as a unpaid professional announcer, I would have the right schedule. But I'm not sure that I do. Let's try 7:30 p.m. Lava City versus Emerald City. So that should be over around 9, and we'll all roll over to McLeod's. Coming up next on this track will be Seattle Derby Brats versus I-5. But right now we have an accurate score. That is correct. The 106 was in error. It is in fact 126 to 96. Bubble Vicious jamming for Rocky Mountain against Champagne for Kitsap.
4-on-3 back advantage for Rocky Mountain. Champagne falling over ER, but managed to avoid any major collisions. Champagne just absorbing a shoulder check from ER, dodges around block U again of Rocky Mountain, and clinches lead jammer. Bubble Vicious at the front. Aqua knockout on point for Kitsap. Slowed her down a little bit, but Bubble Vicious able to get out. But here comes Champagne of Kitsap on her first scoring pass. Gets around block U again, who's stuck in the goat pen of Kitsap. Champagne knocks her way through the 3-wall at the front, gets all 4 points. Bubble Vicious stymied at the back of the pack. Not going to get any points on that one. 4-0 Kitsap.
Bubble Vicious thought she'd snuck the hips in front. Apparently didn't get them in there quite in time. So no points for Kitsap. 130 now to 96. Or no points for Rocky, rather. 130 to 96. Kitsap lead. They send Holly Palooza to the line. Up against number 00, Sassy Gonna Getcha for the Roller Punks.
Sassy Gonna Get You quick off the line. Immediately runs into a 4-wall of Kitsap. Holly Palooza breaks up the center. Gets lead jammer for Kitsap. Sassy Gonna Get You still stuck behind a 3-wall. Stabby Gabby and Gainslayer work together to knock Sassy Gonna Get You out of bounds. She has to recycle all the way back to the pivot line. Nearly a half a lap. Holly Palooza on her first scoring pass. Tries to get past skates with scissors, but cuts the track instead. She's going to the penalty box. Now she was on a scoring pass, so she may have some indeterminate number of points. We'll find out later. But right now on the power jam, it's Sassy Gonna Get You of Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. Still on her initial pass though, but a staggering shoulder check from Gainslayer knocks Sassy around, but she manages to recover pretty well. Stays on the track, and this time now on her scoring pass, trying to leap across the infield, but doesn't quite land it. Sassy Gonna Get You now surrounded by Kitsap.
Kitsap doing a great job of holding her back as long as they could. Finally, gets stretched a little too far forward, have to let her through. 5 points for Rocky Mountain. And we will reset and do it again. Rocky Mountain using the passive offense, just hanging back, waiting for no pack to be declared. Rolling forward to avoid getting that pack destruction penalty. 5 more points for Sassy Gonna Get You.
Stabby Gabby going to the penalty box for Kitsap, but Holly Palooza has completed serving her penalty. Now is looking to complete her first scoring pass. Sassy Gonna Get You going to the penalty box. She was on her third scoring pass, so we'll see how many points that was. But Holly Palooza completes her first scoring pass for a grand slam. Now on her second scoring pass, Bananica split and Acutami trying to hold her back, but she does manage to get 4 out of potential 5 in her second scoring pass. That means 9 points. And Sassy Gonna Get You did get 1 point on her third scoring pass, bringing her total to 11. So 11 to 9, Rocky Mountain winning the jam by 2.
And that brings us to 139 to 107 as we drop down to 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Still some room, still some time for Rocky Mountain to make up that deficit. Chaos now jamming for Kitsap on the power start. Gets a little hip to the outside. Pulls back in and gets called for the track cut.
So we'll swap out jammers. Sassy Gonna Get You will be released as soon as Chaos sits down. So Chaos will be serving about a 15 or 20 second penalty. Sassy gonna get you, the leaning tower of Sassy, knocking down half of the Kitsap defense. Champagne going to the penalty box. That means only 2 blockers on the track for Kitsap, but Sassy gonna get you knocked out of bounds. And there comes Chaos screaming out of the penalty box and leaps across the infield to complete her initial pass. Both jammers now on their first scoring pass. Sassy gonna get you looking a little worn out at this point. Knocked out of bounds by Tallywhacker, has to come back and do it all again. Chaos having no such difficulty. 5 points, a grand slam for Kitsap on her first scoring pass. This time collides with Block You again. That was about 10 seconds ago, but now completes her scoring pass for Kitsap. 10 points so far. 2 scoring passes down. Sassy gonna get you, just not able to find any openings anywhere. Every single time she tries to get into the pack, she immediately gets knocked out of bounds until I say that out loud, and then she just goes right through.
It's the power of Bulldog.
Oh, sorry, that was her initial pass. Okay, so she was still trying to get her initial pass, but does get lead jammer. I got turned around. And goes ahead and completes a scoring pass with ease. In spite of spending almost a minute and a half trying to complete her initial pass, she gets through on her scoring pass in no time flat. 4 points for Rocky Mountain, 15 points though for Kitsap.
Sassy gonna get you, getting heavily knocked about in the turn 1, turn 2 corner. Repeatedly getting sent out of bounds, having to recycle back to the infield, back to the back of the pack. Continued Kitsap pressure to keep her in the back. Very long pass. And now we have an official review of what the heck just happened. And hopefully they can work it all out, because it was all at the far end of the track and I just couldn't see what was happening. 154 to 111 currently, unless things get adjusted. And in our next upcoming jam, we will have Aqua Knock You Out jamming for Kitsap against Bananica Split for Rocky Mountain. And while the officials are working things out, we will thank both our host league, the Slaughter County Roller Vixens, doing a wonderful job once again of putting on this 5th annual Wild West Showdown. And they want to thank the Kitsap Public Facilities District. Public Facilities District helps us make this event possible. They help organize this space. They're clearing out the garbage. They're doing a lot of great work. And thanks to them, and thanks to the Slaughter County Roller Vixens for welcoming us all to their home in Bremerton. And Rocky Mountain has requested this official review. And after they've reviewed, they'll let us know why.
Not used to seeing Rock off skates. He's doing his NSO thing.
So Rocky Mountain was requesting a review of the pileup that had happened earlier in turn 1, feeling that perhaps their jammer was held down a little extra long. The refs reviewed, determined there was no grounds for that it was just a big pile and it takes a while for people to get up. And we will roll ahead, 154 to 111. Kitsap, Aqua Knock You Out, jamming against Bananica Split, and Aqua Knock You Out breaks through and is your lead jammer.
Bananica Split fights her way free as well, but has a lot of making up to do. Aqua Knock You Out breezing through the pack. 4 points for Kitsap in her first scoring pass. Here comes Bananica Split, dodging to the inside of Chrissy Carnage, only get caught by Gainslayer and Quarter Pounder. And there goes Aqua Knockout, slipping right past Bananica Split. Gets a grand slam, bringing her to 9 points in her second after 2 scoring passes. 4 points for Bananica Split. But this time, Aqua Knockout threw like a sieve, but Bananica Split moving up the inside and matching those 4 points. 4th scoring pass for Aqua Knockout. 3rd scoring pass for Bananica Split. Aqua Knockout picked up by Akutamai and Carnage, but forces her way through, just leans in and absorbs those shoulder checks from both those skaters, breaks through for 4 more. Bananica Split not so lucky. Knocked to the infield, has to recycle back behind Red Rager. There goes Aqua Knockout of Kitsap, remaining upright somehow after a vicious hip check from Carnage, and gets a grand slam on was this number 5 or 4? 5? I'm losing count. Aqua Knockout gets another grand slam. I think that's number, I'm going to call that number
I believe that's
6.
number 6.
Okay. A lot. Bananica Split still on her 3rd scoring pass. Red Rager shoulder checks her out of bounds. She has to recycle again. Looking a little frustrated. This time gets around Red Rager and only just runs into Chrissy Carnage and Gainslayer, who force her out of bounds with repeated hip checks. Aqua Knockout coming through again.
And Aqua Knockout picking the cut track penalty. Got shouldered out. The Rocky Mountain blocker backed her way up. She didn't notice and came in a little too early.
But she did get 8 scoring passes, 3 points on that last scoring pass, 35 total for Kitsap, 12 points total in that jam for Rocky Mountain.
And that extends Kitsap's lead to 189 to 123 as Bubble Vicious will take on jammer duties for Rocky Mountain in this power start. No pack is called. She is through and is your lead jammer.
Tallywhacker of Kitsap going to the penalty box. Leaves only 2 blockers on the track. But Quarter Pounder released from the penalty box, and now 3 blockers, but Chrissy Carnage and Champagne unable to stop Bubble Vicious. She gets a grand slam. Second scoring pass for Bubble Vicious of Rocky Mountain. This time she has a 3-wall to contend with. Quarter Pounder on point, can't stop her. Bubble Vicious gets grand slam number 2.
And Rocky Mountain slowly trying to creep the pack backwards, making it a little shorter run for Bubble Vicious to get up. Bubble Vicious takes a big hit from Champagne and lands head first on the referee's skate. No penalty for high blocking with the head to the referee's skate, fortunately.
That's a 15-point jam for Rocky Mountain. Aqua Knockout still in the penalty box, though, but standing up, so she'll be released shortly after the first whistle.
And Champagne sent to the box for a low block, and that rolls us into halftime. At the half, 189 Kitsap to 138 Rocky Mountain. The teams will take a little break. We will take a little break and be back in 9.5 minutes with second half.
In just 2 minutes, we'll be coming back for the second half of the Kitsap Derby Brats versus the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. Right now, the score 189 for Kitsap, 138 for Rocky Mountain. And mostly for the folks watching at home, we're going to go over the rosters one more time before the second half starts. For the Kitsap Derby Brats D-Bombers, number 106, Allison Wonderslam. Number 115, Champagne. Number 13, Holly Palooza. 17, Red Rager. 247, Tallywhacker. 25, Quarter Pounder. Number 26, Gizmo or Raven, which is what's actually on the back of her jersey. Number 33, Aqua Knockout. Number 5, Little Mean Sunshine. Number 626, Chrissy Carnage. Number 71, Stabby Gabby. Number 78, Destruction. Number 84, Chaos. And number 888, Gainslayer.
And for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks, we've got number 00, Sassy Gonna Getcha. 12 is Skates with Scissors. 16, Cream Bomb. 17, Bubble Vicious. Number 2, Acute MI. 25, Killer Whale. Number 33, Block Yugan. 47, Stella Corpse. Number 51, Carnage. Number 7, Teratoma. Number 80 is Bananica Split. 88, Goody Two Skates. And 91, ER. Those are your teams, and we come back 189 to 138. Surprisingly, score did not change during halftime, I don't think.
Who knows what?
And Aqua Knock You Out, jamming for Kitsap, starting in the penalty box. Bubble Vicious will start things off for Rocky Mountain Roller Punks on the jammer line. Except she's shaking her head because I'm looking at this and not looking at her shirt and not realizing that it's actually Bananica Split, which I was staring at you as I said that. I apologize. You're all on the same. I know.
A 4-on-2 pack advantage for Rocky Mountain. Bananica Split knocking down Red Rager and dodging past Gainslayer. Gainslayer to get lead jammer for Rocky Mountain in the first jam of the second half. Aqua Knock You Out released just seconds after the whistle starting the second half, but is still on her initial pass. Fighting a pack disadvantage for Kitsap. Rocky Mountain at full strength, and they are doing a very effective holding back Aqua Knock You Out of Kitsap. Bananica Split already has a Grand Slam in her pocket and dodges past Red Rager. And Red Rager in frustration takes it out on skates with scissors. The Bananica Split's going to get a second Grand Slam, calls off the jam, and Aqua Knock You Out coming up empty.
But 10 points there for Rocky Mountain, narrowing it down to 41-point lead now for Kitsap. As the Roller Punks had a little bit of penalty trouble in the pack, a couple of blockers getting called for cut tracks while they were trying to block a little too close to the line. So we have a 2-on-2 pack as Chaos jams for Kitsap against Cream Bomb for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks.
It's actually a 3-on-2 pack. Champagne, the lone blocker for Kitsap in the penalty box. A burst of speed drives Chaos through the pack. She is lead jammer. Teratoma of Rocky Mountain going to the penalty box. So now Rocky Mountain only one blocker on the track right now. Killer Whale gets a shoulder check into Chaos, but Chaos just races on through. Grand Slam for Kitsap in the first scoring pass. Cream Bomb trying to get past Quarter Pounder and Stabby Gabby, the two-wall in front. And a blur of yellow is Chaos getting through a second time for another Grand Slam. Cream Bomb has completed her initial pass. But here comes Chaos. A lot of speed slams into the shoulder of Killer Whale, getting knocked out of bounds. But Killer Whale fell down as well, so Chaos was able to return immediately, not losing any ground, just a couple of seconds of time. Did not get the Killer Whale's point, though, so only 4 points on that third scoring pass. Cream Bomb has one scoring pass, 4 points in her pocket. Coming in on a second one. But Chaos completing scoring pass number 4, and that is a Grand Slam. Cream Bomb stuck behind Stabby Gabby, brushes off Quarter Pounder, slides past Stabby Gabby, but Stabby Gabby gets back in front, helped out by Champagne. But up the inside of Champagne, and Cream Bomb is through for more 5 points. That's because Chaos went to the penalty box, so immediately Cream Bomb is awarded her point as a ghost point. So now third scoring pass, Chaos in the penalty box, holding on to 19 points. Cream Bomb comes through a third time and a second Grand Slam. 14 points total. Very close to matching Chaos's score in this jam. However, Chaos I think she was on a scoring pass number 5 when she got sent to the box. So 3 more points as the time ends for the jam. So a total of 17 for Cream Bomb. But yes, Chaos did get 4 points on her fifth scoring pass, so 23 points total for Kitsap.
And that takes Kitsap to 212 against 165 for Rocky Mountain. Some excellent offensive blocking there by Quarter Pounder. Looking back to her jammer, Chaos indicating which way she wanted her to open the door, knocking people out of the way. Unfortunately, right at the end, she missed one blocker, and that managed to take Chaos out.
All 4 blockers on the track on this power kill for Kitsap. Bubble Vicious gets past Stabby, Gabby, and Raven, and dodges to the outside of Tallywhacker, clinching lead jammer. Teratoma returns to the pack, and there's Acute MI returning as well, both for Rocky Mountain. So Rocky Mountain now at full strength. First scoring pass for Bubble Vicious, but Tallywhacker, relentless, digs that shoulder in, knocks her out of bounds, but she comes in, but Bubble Vicious recovering quickly, completing the pass. 5 points. Chaos back in action from the penalty box for Kitsap. Up to the front, some chaos in the Rocky Mountain ranks. And Chaos completing her initial pass. Doesn't get around again. And 1 more point for Rocky Mountain brings their total to 6 for the jam.
Rocky Mountain continuing to narrow that lead. And let's talk about our featured charity, the Sally Santana Funds for the Homeless. The voice of the homeless in Kitsap County, Sally Santana, known in the community for her faith and values column that ran in the Kitsap Sun every other Saturday. And for the volunteer work she did, please go visit their booth over by the other track.
And the jammer ref overlooked the ghost point of Gainslayer in the penalty box, so that was actually a 7-point jam for Rocky Mountain. And there goes Hollypalooza, not sent to the penalty box for a back block. Means we have another power jam for Rocky Mountain. Sassy Gonna Getcha keeps getting knocked down to the inside, though. Almost a replay of that jam a while ago. It took her a minute and a half just to complete her initial pass, every single time getting knocked out of bounds. But right now, Rocky Mountain with 1 extra blocker on the track. But Champagne drives a hip to Sassy and gets her out of bounds again.
Sassy Gonna Get You having a rough afternoon thanks to the Kitsap Derby Brats. D-Bombers, they are not letting her go anywhere. Continuing to hold that strong 4-wall at the apex of turn 2. She's finally trying to push forward. Red Ranger giving her the last little hip. She finally breaks free and picks up lead jammer. But again, at least half a minute rolling off the clock just on that pass alone. This time tries to jump the corner, not quite able to, calls off the jam as she goes to the track. Wisely doing so as Hollypalooza standing in the box. The start of the power start will go to number 51, Carnage, for Rocky Mountain. Both packs at full strength. 112 to 172 score remains unchanged after that last long and painful power jam, I suppose, for Sassy Gonna Getcha.
This will be the first time jamming for Carnage, number 51 of Rocky Mountain. Carnage beating her way past Gainslayer and Destruction and his lead jammer. Here comes Hollypalooza, fresh out of the penalty box. Dodged around Cream Bomb and Stella Corpse. Brushes off a hip check from Skates with Scissor to escape the pack. Just 2 strides ahead of Carnage of Rocky Mountain. Carnage of Rocky Mountain completing her 1 scoring pass for 4.
Carnage doing a great job of staying low and keeping her weight over her skates so she could move the hips out of the way and avoid that hip check from Kitsap. Not going out and maintaining her momentum around the corner. Picking up those 4 points. 176 now to 112, or to 212 rather. And Kitsap will send Tallywhacker to the line up against Bananica Split for Rocky Mountain.
Tallywhacker jamming for the first time for Kitsap in this game. Gets shouldered out of bounds by Killer Whale. Looking for that inside lane again, but Killer Whale is there once more. Around the outside of Chrissy Carnage, Bananica Split completes her initial pass for lead jammer. Tallywhacker not far behind them. Bananica Split hits the pack on her first scoring pass, driven to the outside by Chaos and Raven, and kept there by Gainslayer and Red Rager. Tallywhacker trying to slip up the inside, but cuts the track. It is another power jam for Rocky Mountain.
Tallywhacker trying to jump the corner, just dragged a little bit of a wheel as she went across the middle. Put the foot down slightly too early, and that was enough to register that track cut. And with that, Banana Split rolls through for another 5-point grand slam. As Rocky backs the pack up, continues their passive offense as they now only have 2 blockers on the track. And Banana Split able to roll through, coming through on her 4th pass. Taking a bit of a hit, but that is considered going against the grain, as it were. She was moving a little bit in the clockwise direction, and that's not allowed. And Banana Split through, picking up another 5. Go ahead. Now with just 2 blockers on each side, 3 now, as Rocky Mountain gets a blocker back out of the pack. And Banana Split heeds the call from her bench, calls off the jam. 25 points for Rocky, and that narrows us down to an 11-point Kitsap lead, 212 to 201.
So Rocky Mountain continues to chip away, benefited largely by a series, a very long series of power jams given up by Kitsap. Their jammers just having a lot of difficulty staying in play, staying out of the penalty box. Acute MI, first time jamming for Rocky Mountain. Slips right between Champagne and Gainslayer to complete her initial pass. Gets the lead jammer. Tallywhacker for Kitsap out of the penalty box. Fast move gets her around Cream Bomb to complete her initial pass. But Acute MI on her first scoring pass gets a cutting the track penalty, and that means it's a power jam for Kitsap. So they can possibly open up a lead again. Rocky Mountain also has skates with scissors in the penalty box, so a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Kitsap on this power jam. First scoring pass, and again a quick dodge past Cream Bomb. It's a grand slam for Kitsap, number 2 grand slam.
Kitsap again doing the passive aggression thing, slowing the pack down, stopping it up, and then helping to open things up. Not quite opening up as much there. And Tallywhacker gets a hip, slides the feet out of bounds, goes to the ground but doesn't crawl back out, and gets called with the track cut, and that allows Acute MI to re-enter on this shortened power jam for Rocky Mountain.
Tallywhacker will be serving a shortened penalty, though. Acute MI only served about 20 or 30 seconds of her penalty. Acute MI, brushing off a shoulder check from Red Rager. That's not an easy thing to do, by the way.
That is not. She got a little bit of an assist from Chrissy Carnage, though, as she bounced into her, and that kept her from going out of bounds.
True.
Sort of a pinball maneuver there. Just bounced off one bumper into the next. This time, Red Rager, however, lines that shoulder up in time to get her behind Chrissy Carnage. And then she gets the Kitsap D-Bomber sandwich before finally breaking free. Picking up 4 points this time as Tallywhacker is released from the penalty box and re-engaged with the pack.
Tallywhacker up the ducks under her shoulders from Teratoma, but gets caught by Skates with Scissors. But a high block called against Skates with Scissors, and chaos erupts on the track and in the stands too. And
Tallywhacker receiving some love from her Derby sisters on the side.
Suddenly a huge cheering section erupts for Rocky Mountain over in the corner in turn 3.
That was the Tallywhacker cheering.
Oh, excuse me. I thought they were cheering for Rocky Mountain. They were cheering for Kitsap.
Chaos jamming for Kitsap against Carnage for Rocky Mountain, and Carnage is through first in his lead jammer. And takes advantage of that and calls it off as Chaos was in front of her. And she says, I enjoyed that. I'm going to do it again.
I should have known it was for Kitsap, because the official state cheer of the state of Washington is just an incoherent yell at the top of your lungs. And that's what they were doing. So I should have recognized that it was Kitsap, not Rocky Mountain, that they were cheering for.
If they were from Colorado, they would be clearly enunciating, I'm sure. Red Ranger jamming for Kitsap up against Carnage for Rocky Mountain Roller Punks.
Red Ranger looking for the inside lane, and she gets it. Opened up by Chrissy Carnage, and she is lead jammer. Carnage of Rocky Mountain, the jammer in red, gets through behind her, but Red Ranger is going to hit a lot of red, a lot of rage, and a lot of carnage. Red Ranger dodges behind a hip check from Acute MI, completing her first scoring pass for 4. Carnage of Rocky Mountain knocked down by Chrissy Carnage and is going to get a cutting the track penalty. It's a power jam for Red Rager as she completes her second scoring pass. 5 points this time, a grand slam. 9 points total in 2 scoring passes. Comes in a third time. This time breezes through right between ER and Cream Bomb. 5 more points, 14 total in 3 scoring passes. Skates with scissors, gets out of the penalty box, and immediately clobbers Red Rager with a hip check. Red Rager cuts the track. She stepped out of bounds and did not recycle. And they're now going to the penalty box. We're going to have a jammer swap out.
That was a cute MI backing up just wisely just enough to get Red Rager to cut. And that will give Carnage a few minutes to work the speed and try and get through the pack. Unfortunately, it's a full 4 wall of Kitsap D Bombers, but she is able to sneak through, grabs the 5 points as the Rocky Mountain line backs up a little bit more to shorten that track a bit. Carnage bopping through the gap. 1 skater to beat, manages to pull it off and pick up another 5. That's 10 points now for Rocky Mountain. And Rocky Mountain and Carnage able to narrow it slightly, although a 4-point advantage overall for Red Rager. 241 to 220 now, 21-point lead, 15 minutes to go in this game. And let's mention briefly the Junior Roller Derby Association. Now it doesn't have to be so brief because we have an official timeout. Junior Roller Derby Association is holding Junior Con August 6th to 9th, 2014 at the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach, Florida. And while you're there, not only can you see get coached by Smarty Pants, Teflon Donna, TJ Binkley, Jeremy Stecker, Devoid of Mercy, Helena Wheels, Deranged, Psychobabble, PMS, and Ziv Kruger, you can also either participate or watch the JRDA Championship. So if you're enjoying the Junior Derby here, you can enjoy it more in August in Florida, where it will be way more humid, but at least more warm. 24 teams at championships, 3 tracks, and at least according to the flyer, which you can pick up in the JRDA booth over there. Fun, fun, and fun. Champs are August 7th to 9th. It will cost $200 per team. For more information, you need to head to juniorcon.com or juniorrollerderby.org to get more information about the first JRDA championships. And out of one official timeout into another.
A technical penalty against the Rocky Mountain Jammer. She was not lead jammer, but she successfully called off the jam, so that is a technical penalty against Rocky Mountain. So unfortunately for them, Carnage, number 51 of Rocky Mountain, will be serving the first minute of this next jam in the penalty box.
And Chaos will be shooting the free throw on that technical penalty, right? They're going to lower the baskets and she gets to... No?
If she wants to, I think.
They could combine the games.
But it's not worth any points.
Oh, that's no fun. She's shaking her head. She doesn't want to play basketball. Oh, she's going to play soccer instead? All right, fine. You can play roller derby. It's okay. We're just suggesting maybe if you brought some sort of dribbling into the game, it might add an element of surprise.
She's actually mistakenly declared lead, therefore the jammer will not serve the penalty. She's been
Okay. Okay, that penalty has been rescinded. She was, in fact, it turns out the jam ref was actually indicating she was lead jammer, so it was actually a jammer ref error, and therefore not the responsibility of the skater. Since she was being indicated as lead jammer, even though it was by mistake, she did call off the jam legally. So that is what we call a beer penalty. That means that the jam ref has to buy the rest of the ref crew a case of beer.
That's better than having the jam ref sit in the penalty box for a minute, because that would result in horrible things. Chaos jamming for Kitsap against Bananica Split for Rocky Mountain. And Chaos breaks through first and is lead jammer.
but very important. They have been on a roll, benefiting a lot from these power jams that Kitsap has been giving up. But so a power jam given to Kitsap could have proved catastrophic. Only 15 minutes left in the game. And now Chaos giving up another power jam to Rocky Mountain. Bananica split, dodging back and forth. Stabby Gabby stumbled. She just lost traction on her wheels, stumbled to her knees, and Gainslayer trying to pick up Bananica split unsuccessfully. So grand slam to Rocky Mountain on the first scoring pass. Now running through it again. Gainslayer and Quarter Pounder trying to hold her back, but run out of room as they hit the end of the engagement zone. Second grand slam, 10 points for Rocky Mountain.
And Bananica Split taking a big shoulder to the sternum there, wincing a bit as she came out of that pack. Did get the 5 points, but these Kitsap blockers doing a good job of making the Rocky Mountain blocker jammers pay every time they roll through. And another 5 points on the board for Rocky Mountain, taking it to 15 this jam. As Bananica Split will roll in one more time. Continuing to struggle, comes to the inside. Trips, goes to her knees, gets back up, manages to stay in bounds, and picks up 5 more points.
Kitsap making Bananica Split run the gauntlet every single time. Excellent power, well, pretty good power kill. She did manage to score 20 points while Chaos was in the penalty box. But now Chaos back in action, already has 1 scoring pass for 4 points on her second scoring pass. Bananica Split having trouble with Stabby Gabby, forced out of bounds, cannot complete scoring pass number 5. Only gets 2 points on that fifth pass. All 4 points on the second pass goes to Chaos. So 22-8 in favor of Rocky Mountain.
But with that power jam, Rocky Mountain narrows it down to a 7-point lead. Kitsap now 249, Rocky Mountain 242. Where are the Rocky Mountain fans at? All right, we got some over there. That's good. I see the sign. And Kitsap fans?
They're all playing a game right now, I think.
Oh, that's right. They're all over on the other track.
Champagne just leaning into ER, dodges past Skates with scissors, and gets lead jammer. Had to work for a little bit. But Bubble Vicious, the jammer for Rocky Mountain, takes a whip off of Skates with scissors, runs into Tallywhacker, pivots around her, though, and completes the pass. Champagne completing her first scoring pass, 4 points. Bubble Vicious hits the back on her, trying to match those 4 points, but here comes Champagne lapping the opposing jammer, slams into acute MI of Rocky Mountain, and gets a grand slam. So 9 points so far in 2 scoring passes for Kitsap. Bubble Vicious completing her first scoring pass for 4. Champagne comes around a third time, bounces off a hip check from ER, and slips through. 4 more points for Kitsap. Second scoring pass for Bubble Vicious gets her 4 more points, bringing her to 8. Champagne hits the pack a 4th time, this time running into a 3-wall, now a 2-wall, now a 1-wall. That is, or a single blocker. Does manage to get all 4 points. One of those was a cute MI. She got sent to the penalty box. But a total of 17 points for Kitsap, 8 points for Rocky Mountain.
And that lets Kitsap extend their lead up to 16 now, 266 to 250, as we drop down to just about 10.5 minutes to go. Sassy going to get you jamming for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks against Aqua Knock You Out for the Kitsap D-Bombers.
Backfield in motion on the jammer line. But Aqua Knock You Out thought she had a path, but ended up back blocking. And it's another power jam for Rocky Mountain. These power jams have been devastating for Kitsap. Every time they have both their jammer on the track, they open up the lead a little bit, but these power jams are just killing them right now.
That they are. Aqua Knock You Out thought she had the open path, but it was the open path right to the box. Meanwhile, another grand slam, 5 points for Rocky Mountain. Sassy going to get you, and she hops over the midfield. Beautiful apex leap, grabbing 5 points, and for once, not getting beaten up.
And that was actually a 7th penalty for Aqua Knockout. She has been ejected. Therefore, Kitsap will not be able to field a jammer for the remainder of the jam. The remainder of this jam will be a power jam for Rocky Mountain.
And that will certainly turn things about as another 5 points takes us to a 1-point Kitsap lead with 55 seconds left on the track. Fortunately for Kitsap, they are, while losing one blocker, getting another back. And Aqua Knockout will call off the jam, but she does pick up 5 points before that, 270 to 266. Rocky Mountain with the lead change. And I believe that would be Rocky Mountain's first lead of the game. So if you've been waiting for the lead change to have a beverage, now is your chance.
And to add insult to injury for Kitsap, and a boon for Rocky Mountain, Red Rager has to serve the remainder of that jam was called before the full minutes was served by Aqua Knockout. But not by much.
Not by much.
She just had to say a couple seconds. But Red Rager did have to start from the penalty box. It does not count, of course, as a penalty against Red Rager. She simply served in lieu of Aqua Knockout. But coming out of the penalty box very quickly gets lead jammer. Champagne trying to hold on to Bananica Split of Rocky Mountain. But finally, Bananica Split able to get out. Red Rager on her first scoring pass absorbs a hip check from Stella Corpse, dodges around Cream Bomb, but block you again, and skates with scissors to complete her scoring pass for 4. Bananica Split gets around Champagne and Chaos, the only 2 blockers on the track for Kitsap, and gets 4 for Rocky Mountain. It's a matching set of 4 points for each team. Red Rager now on her second scoring pass, and just does a quick slalom up the center, and a little dip to the inside. Calls off the jam for 4 more, 8 total for Kitsap, 4 for Rocky Mountain, and that is going to tie up. I'm going to just make sure the score doesn't change. Ties up the game at 274 for both teams with only 7 minutes, 30 seconds left.
Skates with Scissors doing some great job of controlling her pack as the pivot, skating backwards, calling them to the front when she could. Unfortunately, Kitsap wisely seeing that, slowing down, getting that no pack called so their jammer could get past. Hollypalooza jamming for Kitsap against Bubble Vicious for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks.
Bubble Vicious looking for that outside lane, but all 3 Kitsap blockers are in her way, not budging an inch. Hollypalooza at the front. Sassy gonna get you on point for Rocky Mountain. Only held Hollypalooza up briefly, and she gets lead jammer for Kitsap. Bubble Vicious tries to get between Stabby Gabby and Chrissy Carnage, gets knocked to the ground instead on a squeeze play. Hollypalooza just blasts through. Sassy gonna get you trying to reel her in, but it's a grand slam for Kitsap. Bubble Vicious trying again to complete her initial pass, and a wide open outside lane in the back. Once again, Sassy gonna get you, picks her up in the front, but runs out of room. Free pass for Hollypalooza and a grand slam for Kitsap. 10 points so far in this jam, and that does put Kitsap back in the lead. Place they're very familiar with. ER and Sassy going to get you, knocking Hollypalooza out of bounds. That's right. Sassy going to get you fell down, so a free pass for Hollypalooza. And Sassy going to get you going to the penalty box. Also, Chrissy Carnage of Kitsap. That means 2 blockers for Rocky Mountain in the penalty box, 1 for Kitsap. Hollypalooza calling off the jam for 1 more grand slam for Kitsap.
And some excellent pack defense by Kitsap. They're holding poor Bubble Vicious out of the pack, not letting her get through at all, keeping no points on the board. And that lets Kitsap build up a 20-point lead once again as we drop to 5.5 minutes to go. Champagne will don the jammer star for the D-Bombers against Carnage for the Roller Punks.
Every single time Kitsap has had a jammer on the track, they have dominated in the jam. But I lost count completely of how many power jams they gave up, how many jammer penalties they have received in this game. And that has been the key to Rocky Mountain's comeback on this. In the first 5 or 6 jams, Kitsap built up a huge lead. But just in 2 power jams, remember, Rocky Mountain scored over almost 60 points and closed the gap quite a bit, and then repeated power jams brought them back into this game.
And speaking
here
of
it is
power jams, we got one right now as Champagne sent to the box, and this will let Carnage try and cut that lead. Only 2 blockers to beat, as Raven and Red Rager, the only Kitsap blockers left on the track. And Carnage rolling in for her second scoring pass. Takes a hit from Red Rager, bounces off of Raven, back up on her feet, and is through for 5 more points. Pack's now even at 3 apiece. Rocky Mountain jostling for position, trying to close things off. And Carnage is through 5 more, cutting the lead down to 4, or 5 rather. I can do math. 20 minus 15 is 5.
If Carnage can complete this scoring pass, she can potentially tie up the game again and eradicate that 20-point lead that Kitsap had to work so hard for. And there it is, 5 more, and it is tied at 294. Just as Champagne comes in, but Champagne on her initial pass. Oh, no, excuse me. She was on a scoring pass, first scoring pass. Excuse me. That does. But 5 points for Rocky Mountain means that Rocky Mountain is going to be in the lead by 1 point.
1 point lead, Rocky Mountain, 3 minutes and 13 seconds to go, but we have an official timeout. And while they do their timeout, I will mention that we have a number of vendors still in the building, and they appear to all still be open. So as soon as this bout is over, head over, talk to the Fast Girl Skates folk, talk to the Green Monster people, the Smack Shack, pick up a salad, pick up a hot dog, get some shirts screen printed, get your skates adjusted. There's all sorts of things you can do while you wait for our next bout. Next bout on this track will be Seattle Derby Brats Galaxy Girls versus the I-5 Roller Girls.
I didn't add it.
I'm looking at a Saturday schedule. I don't know. Here's Sunday.
Sorry about that. That's okay. Good catch. I don't want them to come over.
And after the I-5 Seattle Derby Brats bout will be our final junior bout of the day. That will be the Rose City Rosebuds against these very Kitsap Derby Brats. So if you're a fan of Kitsap, stick around for that. That bout coming at 5:15.
Still in an official timeout, and the referee is taking the opportunity to double check the score. Score is verified at 299 for Rocky Mountain, 298 for Kitsap, with 3 minutes 21 seconds remaining in the game.
And Kitsap with a 1 skater advantage in the pack. They've got 3. Rocky has 2. Rocky Mountain sending Bubble Vicious to the jammer line up against Hollypalooza for the Kitsap Derby Brats.
Bubble Vicious trying to make contact right off the first whistle, but Hollypalooza dodging behind her, but gets caught by Acute MI, knocked out of bounds, and cutting the track. It's another power jam for Rocky Mountain. This could spell disaster for Kitsap. They have been suffering at the hands of these jammer penalties. And there goes Bubble Vicious on her first scoring pass. The fate of Kitsap in the hands of the blockers right now. Red Rager dropping back to Bridge. Acute MI actually by herself as a blocker, but now joined by Cream Bomb, who goes straight back to the penalty box.
Cream Bomb had been penalized. There was nowhere for her to sit, and just as she got there, she had gone past, and the other blocker stood up. She had to take another lap.
But a bad news for Rocky Mountain. No,
Nope.
Excuse me. The skater that the referee thought she had cut was actually sent to the penalty box, and that meant that that it was not a cut, and she remains on the track. Kitsap thought they saw a little bit of hope, but Rocky Mountain holding on to this power jam. Bubble Vicious coming in on a 4th scoring pass, already 14 points in 3 scoring passes. Stabby Gabby holding back Bubble Vicious with some hip checks. But scoring pass number 4 gets her 4 points. Bubble Vicious getting up at 18 points now. But here comes Holly Palooza, the jammer for Kitsap, back in action, slipping up the center, completing her initial pass. She got sent to the penalty box while she was still on her initial pass. Bubble Vicious on scoring pass number 5 gets knocked down, calls off the jam from her back. And we're waiting to see if she got any points on that scoring pass. 18 points so far. And she does get all 4 points, 4 points on that 5th scoring pass for a total of 22 points.
And that will take us to Rocky Mountain 321, Kitsap 298. And that, if my math is correct, is a 23-point lead for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks with just over a minute to go. They will send Skates with Scissors to the line against Champagne for Kitsap.
Skates with Scissors jamming for the first time for Rocky Mountain. Champagne gets lead jammer, completing her initial pass. Skates with Scissors still trying to get through. Quarter pounder with a shoulder check, but Skates with Scissors just brushes it off, gets through. But Champagne right there on her first scoring pass, 4 points. A lot of ground to make up and not a lot of time in the game. Skates with Scissors matches those 4, making Champagne's job even harder. Still has 23 points to make up. Run on her second scoring pass. Champagne gets around Stella Corpse. Cream Bomb of Rocky Mountain going to the penalty box. Skates with Scissors runs into quarter pounder, forced out of bounds. Gets a back block penalty. It's a power jam for Kitsap Derby Brats. Possibly the remainder of the jam will be a power jam.
And only 2 blockers on the track for Rocky Mountain.
But don't forget that Skates with Scissors was on a scoring pass. She may have scored 1 or more points on that scoring pass before getting sent to the penalty box. So don't trust the scoreboard just yet. Champagne slips through easily. Gets another grand slam. She's got 23 points in this jam, but still has ground to make up. Comes through, no problem on scoring pass number 6. Sassy gonna get you, trying to get her back. But Champagne has now on the scoreboard, has 1 more point. But remember that scoring pass for Skates with Scissors, but there it is. Gets around Acute MI, 5 more points. They may have turned it around. We still don't want to celebrate too soon, but Champagne on another scoring pass, and that should clinch it. That should definitely put Kitsap in the lead. And the time runs out. Kitsap in the last jam. Champagne coming through for her team. Now, of course, this is the unofficial final score. We always want to temper our celebration for Kitsap. And Rocky Mountain, of course, disappointed. Bad news. It was an exciting final jam, though, Scott.
That it was, and unfortunately stuck with 2 blockers on the track. Hard to stop a fast skating jammer with only 2 people on the track, especially with the offensive blocking excellence of the Kitsap Derby Brats displayed this afternoon. They were doing a great job of opening doors for their jammer, knocking people out of the way when they needed to, not just blocking on defense. Always good to see the blockers helping out the jammer, not just standing back and trying to stop the other team. Current score 336, 4 points extra for Rocky Mountain that were holding up. Not extra, 4 points that had not shown up on the scoreboard yet. I apologize to the referees who thought maybe that I was saying they were giving away points they didn't earn. 4 points from the jammer who was sitting in the box. Currently looking like 336 to 329. Let's give a big round of applause and a big high five to the Kitsap Derby Brats D-Bombers. That was super tight.
Yeah, man, Rocky Mountain did fantastic.
And that score is official. Kitsap pulls out the win on the last jam, 336 to 329. Let's hear it for the Rocky Mountain Roller Punks. Well fought, well played all weekend long. And don't forget, coming up next on this track will be the I-5 Roller Girls versus the Seattle Derby Brats. And at 5:15, these Kitsap Derby Brats will